And today we are going to take a look at a Pokemon that got access to Sludge for this season in the form of Swalot. So Swalot is a pure poison type Pokemon with access to Mud Shot as its fast move, Ice Beam, as well as a plethora of other poison type charge moves such as Acid Spray and Gunk Shot. But with the introduction of Sludge, this means that it has a very powerful, cheap costing poison type charge move that can be beneficial with its poison type move to give it stab damage. Now with it, we will have Cradily as our safe swap with Bullet Seed, Grass Knot, and the recently given to it Rock Tomb. So it is very beneficial to debuff the opponent to prolong the match, as well as to fight back against those fire types. And we will have our Mandibuzz in the back as our closer with Snarl, Dark Pulse, and Aerial Ace. Dark Pulse is preferred over Foul Play now because Foul Play did have its damage reduced with its energy reduction, so it is preferably using Dark Pulse now. As an alternative, you may also use Feraligatr as opposed to Mandibuzz if you don't have it. This slot is mainly to be a harder answer to things such as Diggersby, Clodsire, or even ghost type Pokemon such as Jellicent. So going on to the first battles here, we will have with Swalot is against a Poliwrath. So this is going to be an awkward situation here because Poliwrath does have access to Mud Shot, which is super effective against our Swalot, and they will have Icy Wind to debuff our damage output. And the mistake here is we didn't throw a Sludge immediately before they get to Icy Wind. I completely zoned out. I did not count the fast moves there and ended up being on a CMP tie. And another thing that happened here is that they managed to get their Galarian Weezing to catch our Grass Knot from our Cradily, but it is fine because now we are able to swap out it back into our Swalot. And as you can see here, Swalot with Sludge does a lot of damage to the Galarian Weezing. Mind you, Swalot is more of a tank. Its attack stat is not really, I mean, it's quite respectable, but it is below average for the Great League. But its bulk is what it is known for, with about 120 defense with 160 HP, which means that it can soak up a lot of attacks from the opponent. And in this game in particular, when you have Steelix in the back, it's usually a game over because Steelix will have a field day with Thunderfang as its fast move, but because this one is running Dragon Tail, our Mandibuzz is able to soak up that damage with the Psychic Fangs debuffs fairly easily, and we will be able to seal this game with a lot of energy against this Poliwrath. Poliwrath will not be able to do anything against us because Mud Shot does not do any damage whatsoever against the Mandibuzz, even with a 3-stage debuff. And going on to the second battle, we will have here a Cradily. A Cradily being a grass rock type Pokemon means that it will take neutral damage from Sludge. So what we want is to throw the Sludge before they throw the Rock Tomb, meaning that once we get to a Sludge, we immediately throw it, because once they finish the 4th Bullet Seed, they will get to the Rock Tomb. And here immediately we swap into our Cradily in order to reset the debuff on our Swalot. And as you can see here, we did shield the first Rock Tomb because we want to get hit by damage which is decreased by our own Rock Tomb, and therefore we are able to at least maybe survive this matchup with some energy, hopefully, for the back line. And as you can see here, they did not try to throw it. They decided to let it go, which is okay with us. And here they will have a Drapion in the back to take us out. But as you can see here, we are not in a good position because we have two Pokemons that are almost down, but their last mon is a Melamar, which is good for us because the only way for them to beat our Mandibuzz here is to go for superpower, which is neutral damage, but it will come at the cost of their defense drop as well as an attack drop, in which case we are trying to exploit here by immediately swapping out to Swalot and double sludging into their path, and just look at how much Sludge does to that Melamar. It automatically takes out 40% of their health, and as you can see here, Sludge is such a powerful move right now that even Drapion has to respect it and kill it off with a charge attack, even though from that range most probably it will be able to tank it and will be able to farm our Swalot all the way down. And going on to the third match, we have a Diggersby in the lead, which is also still not a good one for Swalot in the early game, but in the late game when it has energy, it could maybe do some damage back with the Ice Beam. So we swap into our Mandibuzz here because our Cradily will have a better time against the Diggersby later on. We will want to go to the softer answer if possible if our lead matchup is bad. And here we elected to shield the Aqua Tail from the Drapion just so that we are able to throw out this double Aerial Ace against them, maybe take both shields in the process, because that will give us a fairly good time with Cradily in the back who can debuff the opponent. And Mandibuzz is such a tank that we are able to get to another Aerial Ace before we are farmed down. And here we are just going to let go of the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands will not do that much against us because this whole team is bulky in general. And here we are going to let go of the second Scorching Sands, which we are able to take fairly easily, but we will be needing to shield the next charge move because it is going to take us quite low, and even a Fire Punch will put us within range of being sniped by the Pokemon in the back, which is in this case is the Annihilate. And here we are going to go into our Swalot and let it go to work, and just look at how much the Rage Witch does. It barely does anything, and this range will most probably be able to tank 2 Rage Fist from Annihilate even with the boosted counters from them, but they instead went for a close combat, which is fine with us, which means that they are going to have to swap out to reset their attack buff. And here we are able to get to an Ice Beam in order to seal the deal. So even ghost types such as Annihilates, which generally will have a good time against a poison type, was not able to be spat in this game. So next game we have a Claydol in the lead, again not a good one, so we swap into Cradily and they have a Lapras in the back. So what we have to do is we have to constantly debuff this Lapras, get that Psywave damage reduced significantly, making sure that sparkling area damage does not do much. And as you can see there, the double debuff sparkling area barely does any damage. They will need at least one more to take us out. And here we are able to get to another Grass Knot to against the Cradily just to shield, just to take their last shield, and we will come in with the Mandibuzz to seal this game, because at the end of the day, Rock Tomb, even though it's super effective, Mud Slap does not do that much damage to take us out, and they have a Wigglytuff in the back, which means that we are able to overfarm against the Wigglytuff and come out with possibly Ice Beam against the Claydol later. And here we like to just let it go. We are able to tank anything, Icy Wind, Swift, any move it has, we are able to take it. And here we decided to just throw the move against them because we already have an Ice Beam packed for this Claydol, and we are able to come in with the Mandibuzz to seal the game. And to the last match of this video, we have Alolan Ninetales in the lead. Alolan Ninetales has access to a much improved Psyshock now, and with it being a shadow Pokemon, it will do a lot more damage comparatively. And as you can see here, they decide to respect the Sludge coming from our Swalot, and we decided to just let their Psyshock go because we want to see how far our Swalot can go in this match. I decided to shield a move from them, and I think they encountered some lag here, maybe, or they just don't know what to swap into, because as you can see here, they decided to come in with a Drift Beam. But even with Drift Beam, we do have a Mandibuzz in the back, as well as Cradily, which can take it out fairly easily, and we will be able to win this game as well. They will show their Annihilate, and this is a game over. With Dark Pulse and Aerial Ace will be able to take them out. So with that, it is the end of the video. So if you like this video, if you want to try Swalot out, let me know in the comments. And that's all for this video. Thank you, and see you in the next one.